A car accident. I transmigrated and became the ex-husband of Soo Won-king in a CEO novel. Thinking about the miserable fate of the original character, I immediately reached for the divorce agreement and signed my name on it right away. The female CEO's face darkened instantly. Chen Shu, have you completely made up your mind? My heart skipped a beat, and I quickly covered my wallet. Are you kidding? This is a sky-high breakup fee. There's no way I'm giving a single cent back. After lying in the hospital bed for 3 days, I finally accepted the fact that I'd transmigrated. An ordinary male college student had turned into the vicious male supporting character in a cheesy CEO novel, who was also the CEO's ex-husband. He used his family's wealth and influence to act completely lawlessly. At the school opening ceremony, he fell for the female lead Soo Won-king at first sight and chased after her relentlessly from then on, using every trick to force her to marry him. Soo Won-king is the typical campus novel female lead. She comes from a poor family but is beautiful and excellent. Her father is disabled. Her mother suffers from uremia. To raise medical fees for her family, she finally gave in and married him. 5 years into the marriage, she went from an unknown low-level employee to a rising star in the business world. Our relationship got worse and worse. Soo Won-king gradually got out of my control, but I was completely unaware of it and still acted recklessly. Until one day I pushed her first love down the stairs. Soo Won-king had enough and filed for divorce from me. That's when I got into the car accident. Soo Won-king came to see me on the 3rd day and threw the divorce agreement directly at me. The woman's voice was ice cold, with impatience and disgust written all over her face. Chen Shu, have you had enough of your tantrums? Even so, the moment I saw her face clearly, my heart still skipped a hard beat. No wonder the original owner was a total psycho. This face is so freaking pretty. I glanced at the divorce agreement and saw how much property I could get. My heart almost stopped for a second. Holy shit, I'm freaking rich. The original owner's family is wealthy, but he's rude and spoiled. He also has a younger brother who's better than him at everything, so he has no chance to inherit the family company. But Soo Won-king built her business super fast in just a few years. Her assets are already quite substantial. Once we get divorced, the breakup fee will be unbelievably huge. I've been doing good deeds my whole life. I totally deserve this awesome punishment. After calculating how much money I'd get, I held back my excitement, afraid Soo Won-king would notice something wrong if I smiled. Then I took a deep breath and said, I agree to the divorce. Soo Won-king was stunned for a second. She probably didn't expect that I would agree so readily, but a good opportunity is hard to come by, and it'll be gone if you miss it. Before she could react, I quickly scrawled my signature on the divorce agreement immediately. Soo Won-king seemed to sense something was off and frowned. I turned my head away and said in a dead, hopeless voice, I figured it out. Soo Won-king, let's let each other go. I stayed quiet for a long time after that, until I was about to lie back under the covers to count my savings again, that I noticed Soo Won-king was silently staring at the divorce agreement, with no intention of leaving at all. I asked in confusion, Aren't you leaving yet? That Song guy's injuries aren't healed yet, right? Aren't you going to check on him more? Soo Won-king's face suddenly turned cold. I got a little nervous. Is this woman regretting giving me so much money? But I already signed my name. She can't back out even if she wants to. Besides, considering how generous and tolerant I'm being right now, it's only right that she gives me this money. When Soo Won-king was in college, she had a first love named Song Jin-yeon. Unlike the arrogant and domineering young master, Song Jin-yeon is gentle, sensible, and motivated. He comes from a single-parent family and grew up in poor conditions, but he's very hard-working and ambitious, and excellent in every aspect. In a way, he and Soo Won-king are the same kind of people, only he can understand Soo Won-king. He's basically her soulmate. If I hadn't existed, they would have ended up together naturally, worked together in this city after graduation, and built a happy family of their own. In the original novel, Chen Shu was insanely jealous of Song Jin-yeon and made things difficult for him everywhere, picking fights with him all the time, until he finally lost his mind and attacked him. After that, Soo Won-king completely hated Chen Shu and cut off all ties with him. You don't even have to think hard to know. I've pissed off both the male lead and the female lead. As the villainous male supporting character here, my ending is going to be so freaking miserable. So I gotta take the money and bolt right now. Soo Won-king finally slammed the door and stormed out. I patted my chest and curled my lip in secret. She's got such a bad temper, huh? But when I thought about the property I'd get in the divorce, I cheered up immediately. This kind of free windfall Doesn't happen to just anyone, you know. I was just thinking when a WeChat message popped up on my phone. It was from Gu Qinghan. Her message was full of teasing. Heard Su Wanking finally bothered to come see you today. She's my childhood best friend, a spoiled and willful young lady from a rich family. She's a total pro at eating, drinking, and having fun. She can't stand Su Wanking, and Su Wanking can't stand her either. The two are total sworn enemies, especially after I married Su Wanking. Our two families had a lot of interactions. Her grandfather has more than once compared her to Su Wanking, which made Gu Qinghan even more fed up with Su Wanking. She calls me a love-obsessed fool, always telling me to dig wild vegetables in her family's garden. She's obviously here to laugh at me again this time, but I don't care at all. I'm too busy getting rich and counting my cash. I don't have time to mope over stupid relationship stuff. I thought for a second, took a pic of the divorce agreement and sent it right to her. I'm officially single starting today, baby. You gotta treat me to dinner. Gu Qinghan called me immediately. The first thing she yelled was, "Are you insane?" Wow, that's rude. I'll go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to sign the papers once I'm discharged. Good thing my car accident wasn't too serious. I just bumped my head a little. You got nothing for me? Gu Qinghan went silent for a moment, then suddenly laughed and said, "Sure. All right then, young Master Chen. What kind of gesture do you want?" 1 week later, I put on a fancy, expensive suit and left the hospital in style. Gu Qinghan crossed her arms and teased, "Why are you all dressed up like a proper guy for the hospital?" I clicked my tongue. What do you even know? Today's a super important day. Gu Qinghan didn't bother responding, turned around and walked outside, only to bump straight into Su Wanking. Su Wanking's gaze stayed on her for a split second. Her eyes cold and frosty. I walked over to her, smiled and said, "You're here, where's your car?" Su Wanking's expression softened a little. "Parking lot? Let's go." Gu Qinghan got mad immediately, turned her head, narrowed her pretty eyes at me. "Chenshu, you're not taking my car." I waved my hand dismissively. "I need to go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get my divorce certificate with Su Wanking first. It's more convenient to take her car," I said as I nudged Su Wanking, who had frozen up all of a sudden. "What are you standing there for? Let's move." Gu Qinghan snickered and said, "Fair enough. This is a big deal, don't waste time." Su Wanking curled her lip mockingly. "Chenshu, are you that eager to cut all ties with me?" I said honestly, "Mostly because you have other plans tonight. I just want to get this over with quickly, so I don't end up wasting your time." Yeah, Su Wanking is always super busy. She barely even comes home on regular days. I know she just doesn't want to see me. And I have no intention of dragging this out with her either. We can each go our own separate ways and live our own best lives. What's not to love? There weren't too many people at the Civil Affairs Bureau. It didn't take long for our turn to come up. When we were about to go in, Su Wanking's phone suddenly started ringing. I glanced at it from the corner of my eye. It was Song Jinian. Su Wanking walked to the side to answer it. I faintly heard her soft, gentle, low voice. "I'm still outside. Got something to take care of." She had never spoken to me in that tone before. This marriage was forced from the very beginning. 5 whole years. We were always at each other's throats. We couldn't even have a proper meal together, let alone talk to each other with such soft, caring words. The staff called out to us twice. "Are you two going to get this done or not?" I shook my head. I felt a little sorry for the original owner of this body. He truly had absolutely no status in Su Wanking's heart at all. I called out to Su Wanking loudly. "Can we handle my business first this time, please?" Su Wanking always put Song Jinian above everything else. The original owner fought and argued with her about it so many times, but she never cared at all. The original owner was such an idiot, actually thinking he could ever beat Song Jinian. That's just asking for trouble, right? And Su Wanking too. If she puts my business first this time, she can openly get together with her white moonlight, right? Su Wanking froze all of a sudden. Then she said to the person on the other end of the phone, "Ask Dr. Zhang to check on you first, okay? I'll be there really soon." 20 minutes later, I held the freshly printed divorce certificate, tears filling my eyes. Hell yeah, my huge breakup payout is finally mine. Starting from today, I'll travel, drink as I like, eat, drink, and enjoy myself to the fullest. And be a totally happy guy, I said to Su Wanking with complete sincerity. "Su Wanking, thank you so much. Thanks a lot for the money. See you never." I had just walked outside when I spotted Gu Qinghan at a glance. This woman was driving an extremely flashy red Ferrari. It was so eye-catching that you'd have to try really hard not to notice it. I walked over to her happily, bouncing on my feet. Bro, I'm loaded now. I'm gonna go spend like crazy. Suddenly, Su King's slightly hoarse voice came from behind me. I turned around in a hurry. Is there anything else? Su King pressed her red lips tightly together. I couldn't tell what emotion she was feeling for a second. If the original owner of this body saw her looking so obviously emotionally off, he definitely would have pestered her to get to the bottom of it. But I'm too lazy to keep up the act now. If there's nothing wrong, I'll head out first. I picked up my pace. For a cannon fodder side character like me, staying far away from the male and female leads is the only key to happiness. When we left in Gu Qinghan's car, I glanced at the rearview mirror. Su King was standing there. People were coming and going all around her, but she looked inexplicably lonely. Without me, that annoying troublemaker pestering her. She must be totally relieved now, right? Gu Qinghan glanced at me. Are you reluctant to leave her? I said enthusiastically. You saved all the pretty girls at your club for me, right? Gu Qinghan was totally speechless. I totally wasted my time worrying about you for no reason. I thought you were so in love with her before. Turns out the second you get divorced, you have happiness written all over your face. Is it that obvious? I flipped down the passenger side mirror to take a close look. I'm 28 years old now. Even though I aged 10 years all of a sudden, thankfully this face is still super handsome. And the best part is I'm rich as hell. I thought for a bit and gave an explanation. She doesn't love me, so I might as well stop loving her too. When we stopped at a red light, Gu Qinghan turned her head and stared at me for quite a while, until I started feeling creeped out all over. Then she spoke with an unreadable tone. That car accident you had seems to have turned you into a whole new person. I shrugged calmly. I guess when people have a near-death experience, they learn to let go of a lot of things, right? Gu Qinghan froze for a second, then laughed. That makes sense. I'll pay for everything you spend tonight. 2 hours later, Gu Qinghan regretted it so much, she had a dark look on her face, and asked, Haven't you ordered enough yet? She wasn't talking about the drinks. She was talking about the pretty girls in the club. Oh, right, I should call them cute little sisters, actually. I lifted my wine glass towards her. Come, have a drink with your bro, too. As I said that, I patted her shoulder and pointed at all the pretty girls around us. Look at these girls, all pretty and so sweet-talking. Which one isn't better than my ex-wife? That original owner was so stupid, too. There are so many beautiful women in the world. He was rich and good-looking. Why the hell would he fixate on only that one woman? Gu Qinghan scoffed. It's about time you stopped being blind. A slim, cute girl came over to pour me wine. She was super well-behaved. Try this, bro. Sure. I was just about to reach for it happily, when Gu Qinghan snatched it away immediately. Don't mix different drinks, okay? You just got out of hospital. I don't want to call an ambulance for you later. As she said that, she glanced at that girl. That girl's face turned pale instantly. She quickly bowed and apologized. I'm so sorry. Bro, I didn't know that you... I waved my hand generously. It's okay. I'm in a good mood today. Then I glanced at Gu Qinghan with a smile. You're being so unreasonable. Only the magistrates are allowed to set fires. But the common people can't even light lamps. When your little boyfriends feed you drinks, you drink them so happily? How come it's not allowed when it's my turn? Gu Qinghan laughed out of anger. These two things are not comparable at all. Why not? Now that I'm a rich dude, I can do whatever I want. Gu Qinghan suddenly asked again, Oh, right. Do your family know about this? I froze for a second all of a sudden. Shit, I totally forgot about that. Before I could open my mouth, Gu Qinghan looked like she saw through everything already. I knew you wouldn't dare tell them. The original owner actually didn't have a good relationship with his family. His parents are stubborn and old-fashioned. They favor his younger brother, and he has a rebellious personality. Back when he wanted to marry Su King, he had a really bad fight with his family. Later, when Su King's career took off, his family's attitude did a complete 180 turn. Then they kept blaming him every time he got into conflicts with Su King. Anyway, the life of this villainous supporting male character. Wasn't that great in the past? But I've got the divorce certificate in my hand anyway. What do I have to be scared of? The following days were even happier than I expected. I asked the housekeeper to pack up all the belongings of Su King and mail them all away. This villa was originally the wedding house bought by the original owner's parents for the couple, but Su King never liked spending the spring festival here. Probably every corner here reminded her of the humiliation the original owner once caused her. At first, she mostly lived at the company. Later, after her career took off, she bought an apartment near the company. The original owner went there once, and he happened to run into Song Jinian there. although Song Jinyan immediately explained. He was only there to take shelter from the rain temporarily, but with the original owner's temper, how could he not get mad? He had a huge fight with Su Wonking that time. They didn't talk to each other for a whole month. Later, the original owner couldn't stand it anymore. He took the initiative to apologize and compromise. Who asked him to only have Su Wonking in his heart and eyes? Now it's perfect. Such a big, luxurious 3-story. Villa is all mine. Su Wonking didn't have much stuff here, but after cleaning up, I still felt it was a bit empty. So I headed out to go shopping right away. Then I started calling the shots in the stores I liked. This one, and this one? No, thanks. Wrap up all the rest for me, please. Sure thing, Mr. Chen. The store manager was grinning from ear to ear. Several sales associates followed behind me carrying my stuff. I didn't expect to run into Su Wonking right after walking out. She was stunned the second she saw me, and I already spotted Song Jinyan following behind her. Looks like his leg injury is almost healed. He can even come shopping at the mall now. Su Wonqing's lips moved a little. She spoke first. Her mom's birthday is coming up soon. I just drove her here to pick a gift. I blinked my eyes. Why are you telling me this? I don't care anyway. Out of politeness. I still nodded at her politely. But before I could walk away to leave, Song Jinyan also spoke up. He looked kind of apologetic. I'm sorry, Mr. Chen. My leg still isn't fully recovered. That's why Wonking drove me here. It looks like you bought a lot of stuff. Is it hard for you to carry all of them? Why don't you let Wonking send you? I'm fine on my own. Wow, talk about the art of speaking. That reminded Su Wonking that I was the one who pushed him. He was implying that I shouldn't get jealous, and also generously offered Su Wonking to me. I smiled and said no need. My car is parked right downstairs. Besides, this kind of private matter. I'd rather not trouble Miss Su. Song Jinyan was stunned. What? I also looked at Su Wonking in surprise. Miss Su, haven't you already told Mr. Song that we're already divorced? Song Jinyan looked at Su Wonking in total shock. Su Wonqing's pretty face was tense. She didn't look very happy. I don't like making private matters public. Oh, so she was making a veiled dig at me, right? So what if I threw a few divorce celebration parties? Why be so petty about it? It seems Song Jinyan also didn't expect to get such a huge bombshell of news. He opened his mouth. Wonking, you and Mr. Chen have already... Why didn't you tell me about this? Hearing his voice, Su Wonking just remembered he was still there. She paused for a moment, then explained in a low voice. I've been too busy lately. She used to use this excuse to brush me off all the time. Who would have thought the tables have turned? Even Song Jinyan gets this treatment now. But the male lead is different from the supporting male after all. To Song Jinyan, this line was actually incredibly great news. His eyes darted between Su Wonking and me a few times. He spoke like he was apologetic. I'm so sorry. I didn't know about this before. I didn't mean to bring it up. You don't mind, right, Mr. Chen? Of course I don't mind at all. A woman I have nothing to do with anymore. You guys go ahead and browse then. My girl is carrying my stuff for me. They're pretty heavy, you know? Su Wonking suddenly said, wait. I turned around. Anything else, Miss Su? Su Wonking frowned slightly. She didn't seem used to my sudden shift in attitude towards her. Mom said yesterday you haven't visited her in ages. Su Wonking's voice dropped. She looked like she could barely get the words out. But she had no other choice. Go visit her when you have time, okay? She was talking about her mother who has uremia. Unlike Su Wonking, her mother has always liked me a lot, because Su Wonking never told her that she only married me against her will. In the old lady's mind, I, this young master, didn't look down on the Su family's situation and treated Su Wonking wholeheartedly. Of course, I seemed perfect to her no matter what. Back when we first got married, to please Su Wonking, I kept taking the initiative to take care of her mother, to win the old lady's favor. I knew this was my last bargaining chip. Su Wonking is very filial. She probably wouldn't start a fight with me easily for this. But I laid hands on Song Jinyan and crossed his bottom line. So I lost this final trump card. I thought for a moment and agreed anyway. Let's make it tomorrow. The old lady didn't do anything wrong after all. Su Wonqing's expression relaxed. Then I'll pick you up tomorrow morning. I smiled at her and waved my car keys. No need, I have hands and feet. I can drive there myself. No need to trouble you, Miss Su. Su Wonking and Song Jinyan's faces froze at the same time. Early the next morning, I headed to the nursing home. This high-end nursing home is in the suburbs. It has complete facilities and great service. Of course, the price is also extremely high. Mr. Chen, you're here. The caregiver greeted me politely when she saw me. This was the person Su Wanking hired. She knew Su Wanking and I didn't get along, so she was also very distant towards me. Mother Su was lying on the bed. Years of uremia had made her very thin and physically weak. But luckily, these years at the nursing home, she's gotten a lot better than before. Su Wanking's gaze stayed for a second on the food box in my hand. She curled her lip in obvious disdain. Even a caregiver would look down on this cheap way of sucking up I was using, because she knew no matter what I did, it would only make Su Wanking disgusted with me. Chen Shu? Mother Su smiled warmly when she saw me. Have you been busy lately? I haven't seen you for ages. I sighed inwardly. I had only ever used her from the very start, but she took all of it seriously. The old lady didn't do anything wrong either. Yeah, a little busy. I brought you chicken soup. Try it later, okay? Mother Su grabbed my hand and stared at me for a long time and asked gently, Did Wanking make you angry again? I shook my head. But Mother Su didn't believe me. She sighed helplessly. Wanking has been stubborn since she was little, and she always keeps everything to herself. If she ever upsets you, you can tell me, I'll scold her for you. I felt even more guilty. I had originally planned to tell her about the divorce, but now the words were stuck in my throat. I couldn't say them no matter how hard I tried. I ate a meal with Mother Su and chatted with her for a while. Before I left, I hesitated for a long time and finally forced myself to speak. I'll be busy for a while longer. I'm afraid I won't be able to visit you often. I'll reduce the frequency first, then find a right time to tell her the truth. That should be a lot better. I can't hide it forever. Even if I wanted to, Su Wanking would never agree to that. If I come too often, she'll probably think I'm still clinging to her. Mother Su patted my hand and sighed softly. Chenshu, you're a good kid. Wanking was in the wrong about what happened before. Even though she never mentioned it to me, I know she blames herself a lot and regrets it so much. She likes you so much. When the baby was gone, how could she not be heartbroken? My heart skipped a beat. The baby wasn't at fault. This was the trigger that made the original owner and Su Wanking's relationship completely fall apart, that's right. The original owner and Su Wanking actually had a baby before. He conceived this baby when he took advantage of, after Su Wanking got drunk at a work event, by using every dirty trick in the book. This child wasn't conceived in an honest way. But to the original Chenshu, this was the most powerful weapon to tie Su Wanking, permanently by his side. After she found out she was pregnant, on one hand, Su Wanking felt guilty towards her, White Moonlight Song Jinian. On the other hand, she couldn't give up her own flesh and blood. In the end, she chose to keep the baby. Her own childhood was hard enough as it was, so she couldn't bear to let her child be born into a broken family right from the start. That was the best period in her relationship with the original Chen Shu. She would obediently eat all the supplements the original Chen Shu bought her. She'd also read all kinds of parenting guides on purpose. She genuinely wanted to be a good mom. That's why after she suffered a miscarriage, she cut off all contact with the original Chen Shu for good. This whole thing is actually pretty wild when you think about it. After Su Wanking got pregnant, the original Chen Shu noticed her attitude was getting better, so he pushed his luck even further. He wished he could keep her by his side 24/7. Every time Su Wanking tried to say no, he would use excuses like doing prenatal education for the baby and building parent-child bonding as his reason, leaving Su Wanking with no choice but to give in. After this happened too many times, Su Wanking started getting really annoyed. Once Su Wanking had to go on a business trip, and Song Jinian was also on the trip roster. The original Chen Shu flat out refused to let her go. He told her to send someone else and stay home to focus on the pregnancy. Su Wanking thought he was interfering with her freedom, paranoid and controlling. The two had a huge fight. Chen Shu, can you just act normal for once? Stop thinking everyone is as dirty-minded as you, okay? Right after she said that, Su Wanking slammed the door and left. But that very same night, the original Chen Shu got a message. Su Wanking had a miscarriage from getting too angry and upsetting the fetus. You can imagine, as soon as this happened, their relationship completely fell apart, and things got super messy between them. Before this incident, Su Wanking only disliked the original Chen Shu. After this, that dislike turned into hatred. She never stepped foot into the marital home she shared with him again, and she never reached out to him ever again, until the original Chen Shu went to find Song Jinian and pushed her down the stairs. That was the final straw that broke the camel's back. I was silent for a moment, then said, It's all in the past now. The old Chen Shu is already dead. All of this stuff ends here and now. I was feeling kinda emo after leaving the nursing home. I didn't know if it was for Su King's mom or for the old Chen Shu. And that little bit of emo feeling peaked when I realized I'd accidentally lost my car keys somewhere along the way. I desperately called Gu Qinghan. Come pick me up right now. Gu Qinghan thought this was ridiculous. Am I your personal driver or something? Do I have to be at your beck and call 24/7? It's not like I won't pay you, okay? I told Gu Qinghan this nursing home was super out of the way. It's really hard to get a taxi here. In the end, Gu Qinghan resigned himself to coming to get me. It was already dark by the time we got home. And on top of that, it was pouring rain. Looking at the heavy curtain of rain outside, I took pity on Gu Qinghan and let him stay over, and let him take the guest room on the second floor. I didn't expect someone to ring the doorbell early next morning. I stumbled to the door half asleep, eyes barely open. I was shocked to see Su King standing outside. She was just about to speak when footsteps sounded from the stairs. Gu Qinghan's voice carried obvious annoyance at being woken up. Who is it? Su King's face immediately turned cold. Every word sounded like it was forced out through gritted teeth. It looks like, I came at a bad time. Sorry to interrupt you two. I rolled my eyes internally. Oh, so you do know you're disturbing people's sleep, huh? And why are you giving me that attitude anyway? This is my house, in case you forgot. You're just my ex-wife. What right do you have to be mad? Why are you making that face like you just got cheated on? Who are you even putting that show on for? You cheated on me for ages, for crying out loud. And I already let that go without holding it against you. I turned around and said to Gu Qinghan, it's nothing, go back to bed. Gu Qinghan is such a diva. After all, he was only stuck here because of me. Due to the heavy rain, the least I can do is let him get a good night's sleep. When Gu Qinghan saw Su King, he seemed to sober up a lot and smiled lazily. Oh, we have a guest. It'd be so rude of me to go back to bed now. Chen Shu, come on. Why aren't you inviting her in to sit down? I couldn't be bothered to reply to him. I looked back at Su King and had no intention of letting her inside. I just finished clearing out all her stuff not long ago. I don't want to mess up this house again. I'd have to ask the auntie to clean it again later. I asked, it's so early. Is there something you need, Miss Su? Su King's face turned faintly green. Apparently, Gu Qinghan's few short words had successfully hit her sore spot, but she couldn't throw a fit right now. If this was before, she could have straight up acted as the lady of the house and told Gu Qinghan to get lost. But now her status is even lower than Gu Qinghan's. She can't even get through the front door. But girls like her are really good at holding it in. Su King was no exception. She took a deep breath and stopped looking at Gu Qinghan. She pulled a key out of her pocket. You left this at Mom's place yesterday. She told me to bring it to you. The implication was that she was only here because his mom asked her to come. Thanks, I took the key. You didn't have to make this trip, actually. I have a spare key. Su King was speechless for a moment. I waited a few seconds and really ran out of patience. I gently reminded her, Miss Su, do you have anything else you need? If Su King couldn't tell that was me kicking her out, she wouldn't have gotten to where she is today. She pressed her red lips tight. No. With a loud bang, I shut the door straight away. Gu Qinghan was standing on the stairs watching me. I asked confusedly, aren't you going back to catch up on sleep? Why are you staring at me like that? Gu Qinghan squinted her eyes slightly. She crossed her arms. Nothing. I just think you're being a little ruthless to your ex-wife. I was super annoyed. If you've got nothing nice to say, you can just keep your mouth shut. Gu Qinghan lifted her chin. Chen Shu, don't tell me you can't see what she's up to. I asked back, what's she up to? Gu Qinghan leaned back and said lazily, she wanted to see you, right? Otherwise, she would never have come over so early in the morning, just to deliver a car key, and she wouldn't have looked that upset after seeing me in this house. I tilted my head, so Gu Qinghan tapped her fingers on the railing and said seemingly casually, you don't feel anything at all. Feel what? Just because she turns around to look for me, I'm supposed to throw myself at her. I found this kind of funny. Gu Qinghan looked over, her eyes shifting slightly. Her back seemed to straighten a little. I shrugged my shoulders. I feel like I got divorced too late. If I knew what kind of person she was earlier, I would have given up on her a long time ago. Wasted so much of my time for nothing. Gu Qinghan didn't seem to expect me to say that. After staring at me for a while, she suddenly turned her head and laughed. Nice one, Chen Shu. Finally grew a spine for once. I was really encouraged and couldn't help complimenting her back. Oh, stop. I'm nowhere near that good. I'm still way worse than you are. You're the real pro at dating around. And never getting attached to anyone, huh? Gu Qinghan was annoyed. How many times do I have to tell you? I have nothing to do with those guys. I replied repeatedly. I get it. You're just playing around with them, miss. You just haven't met your Mr. Right yet. Isn't that how it always goes in novels? The domineering rich girl always meets her fated true love and pays back all the past relationship debt multiple times over. Gu Qinghan looked at me speechlessly. She left one line before leaving. I knew I couldn't reason with an idiot like you. Then she went back to sleep. I slept till the afternoon. I woke up because I was hungry. When I woke up, I saw on my phone a bunch of missed calls and WeChat messages. All of them were from the original owner's parents. After scrolling for a while, I figured out why they suddenly contacted me. They found out that Su Wanking and I got divorced. You got divorced from Su Wanking. What on earth were you thinking? How many times have we told you Su Wanking's company is doing really well right now? We're also in the middle of discussing a collaboration with her side. What do you expect us to do now? How old are you already? Why are you still so willful? You just got divorced out of the blue. Did you even think about other people at all? You're so selfish. I don't have a son like you. It was just the same few lines over and over. I read for a bit, then stopped looking. I went out to find food. It smelled so good. I stared dumbfounded at the rich spread of food on the dining table, and at Gu Qinghan, who was slowly enjoying the meal. Gu Qinghan, do you even have a heart? You're eating all by yourself. Gu Qinghan lifted her eyelids slightly. Am I supposed to starve myself just for you? Wow, that's pretty convincing. Can't even argue with that. I leaned over right away and grabbed the chopsticks, and picked up some of my favorite Yuxiang shredded pork. Put other things aside, Gu Qinghan is a total pro when it comes to food. The private home-style takeout he orders tastes way better than what other people get. Gu Qinghan suddenly spoke up. Your parents called me, said they need to talk to you, but you haven't been answering their calls. I picked up another braised pork rib, I know. Gu Qinghan paused with his chopsticks mid-air. His gaze darted across my phone. Should I leave you alone for this? I waved my hand, no need. Let them ramble all they want. I already did what I did, right? There's nothing they can do to me. Just as I said that, the phone rang again. The person on the other end started yelling non-stop the second I picked up. Chen Shu, go find Su Wanking right now. Tell her you were wrong. Say you just acted on a whim. And beg her to remarry you. Listening to that shrill female voice, I held the phone away from my ear a little. Remarry? They've got some real nerve asking that, getting yelled at, or ending up dead at Su Wanking's hands. I know damn well which one is worse. Chen Shu, are you even listening to me? I finally took a second to reply. I'm listening, but this is really hard to pull off. I can't do it anyway. The person on the other end got even angrier. Chen Shu, is this how you're supposed to talk to your parents? I was speechless. Didn't you say you don't have a son like me before? Did you forget that? The other end went silent immediately. She seemed like she wanted to yell more, but I was too tired to listen anymore. I've already made my position perfectly clear anyway. I'm busy right now, let's talk another time. With that, I hung up the phone and blocked the number right away. Gu Qinghan, who had watched this whole smooth sequence of actions, simply put down his chopsticks. He looked me up and down for a good while. Not bad, Chen Shu. Not only did you dump your ex-wife, you even dare to stand up to your parents now. I still had a piece of meat in my mouth, so I mumbled a vague reply to him. Where there's oppression, there's resistance, right? Gu Qinghan snorted and laughed, leaning forward slightly. So by that logic, I might be next on your list someday. I gave him a thumbs up, praising him for his self-awareness. I wasn't surprised at his reaction. He grew up with the original owner of this body, so he knows exactly what the original Chen Shu's personality was like. All the stuff I've been doing lately can probably be summed up in one sentence in his eyes, and that sentence is, I've gone crazy. But to be fair, anyone who got stuck with all this garbage would go crazy too. The male supporting character doesn't have the male lead's plot armor after all. Running away as early as possible is the only way to stay alive. Oh right, help me look for a new apartment. This place is nice and all, but it's annoying that people keep dropping by uninvited sometimes. It's not just Su Wanking. It's also the original owner's whole family. Every single one of them is a troublemaker. I had a complete falling out with them today. Who knows if they'll come over here to cause trouble? I have zero interest in dealing with them. Gu Qinghan replied, leave it to me. Gu Qinghan really is a qualified third-generation rich kid. Even though he spends most of his time eating, drinking, and having fun, he's actually super reliable when you need him. He called me the very next day. Said he'd picked out a villa in the west part of the city. The original owner of the house is moving abroad, so they're eager to sell it fast. The house was just renovated, no one's ever lived in it. It's a total steal for you. I was super happy with how efficient he was. I dragged Gu Qinghan to sign the contract with the owner that same day. We got the ownership transferred as fast as possible. Then I immediately listed the old house for sale. I hired a moving company. A bunch of movers were running up and down the stairs nonstop. I stood by watching and I was stunned. It wasn't until we started packing that I realized how much stuff the original owner had. I'm definitely gonna have to pay them extra for this. Mr. Chen, what's in this box? It's really heavy. A mover carried a big cardboard box down from the third floor. The box was sealed really tight. You couldn't tell what was inside from the outside. I was just about to go over and check when I suddenly got a phone call. Hello, is this Mr. Chen? This is the Third People's Hospital. Your wife was on the road. When she suddenly fainted. Can you come over here as soon as possible? I was stunned. Su Wangking fainted and got sent to the hospital. You must have the wrong person. I'm not her husband. The person on the other end sounded confused, but the contact note on the patient's phone says, oh right, I remembered. When Su Wangking was pregnant before, the original owner insisted on changing the note on her phone, changed the contact note to Chen Shu, baby daddy. Su Wangking couldn't argue with him, so she just let him do as he pleased. Who would have thought they'd been divorced for quite a while now, and he still forgot to change it? How's her condition? The patient's symptoms are most likely caused by low blood sugar. Her life isn't in danger, but her overall condition is pretty bad. You'd better... Got it. But I'm kind of busy right now. How about this? You can call her current boyfriend Song Jinian, okay? His number should be in her contact list. Just reach out to him directly if anything comes up later. I hung up the phone, only to see a bunch more boxes in the living room. How long is this going to take to tidy up? Move all of them away first. I'll sort them out later when I have time. Good thing the new house is big enough. I asked the housekeeper to help organize the stuff roughly, then went off to play several rounds of games, and also checked out a newly opened viral barbecue spot. The taste was great. The decor was a huge plus. I couldn't help taking a bunch of photos, then posted them on my WeChat Moments to check in. Another day of muscle gain today. I also threw in a good-looking selfie in the post. All my friends liked the post one after another. Even Gu Qinghan, who never bothers interacting, on Moments left a comment. This place is really good. I replied, have you tried it before? Gu Qinghan replied smugly, of course. I own this place. Ugh, you just had to show off, didn't you? But what I didn't expect was, Song Jinian actually commented on my post too. His tone was polite on the surface, but carried a condescending vibe of questioning and coercion. Chen Shu, even though you've divorced Wangking, she's lying in the hospital right now. Is it okay that you won't even come take a look at her? As soon as his comment appeared, my Moments completely blew up. Only a very small number of people knew that. Su Wangking and I were divorced. I hadn't even figured out what to post for the divorce announcement yet, and he already went ahead and took the moral high ground. I also gave a sarcastic reply. A qualified ex should act like they're dead. I was just afraid you'd get the wrong idea, right? If you don't mind, then I'll go visit her. After all, we were classmates back in college. It's only reasonable to pay her a visit, don't you think? My Moments was totally boiling over. Everyone was super hyped. Then after a little while, Song Jinian deleted that comment himself. Oh, deleting it means nothing ever happened. I immediately posted another public comment asking, all the experts in my Moments, what gift I should bring to visit my ex-wife and her current boyfriend. Please, this is really important to me. An hour later, I carried a bag of fruit and went to the hospital. I didn't expect that right after I got outside the ward. I heard Song Jinian's voice full of distress. Wangking, don't be mad, okay? I know I messed up this time, but I did it for you. Su Wangking didn't respond. Song Jinian sounded angry and wronged. You even fainted. The hospital even called him specifically, and he still refused to come see you. What if something had happened to you today? Su Wangking's tired voice finally came through. I'm a little tired. I want to be alone for a while. A moment later, the sound of a chair moving came from the room. Song Jinian walked to the door. He just opened the door. When he froze in place in shock, Su Wangking noticed something was wrong and turned her head to look over. Her face was very pale. She didn't have her usual fierce, decisive female CEO aura. She was lying on the hospital bed on an IV drip, looking unusually weak and fragile. Her originally dull eyes lit up a little when she saw me. She looked nervous and flustered at the same time. Chinshu, why are you here? I walked past Song Jinian and went inside. Oh, I was just afraid people would talk behind my back, saying I don't care if my ex-wife lives or dies right after we got divorced. After all, we were college classmates. There's no need for things to be so awkward between us. Suwon-king's pretty face turned pale. She must have seen the fight between Song Jinian and I on moments. Someone as proud as her would never tolerate being publicly made fun of like this. It's a total humiliation for her. She probably hates me even more now. The thought of that annoyed me. All right, I'm here now. If there's nothing else, I'll head out first. Suwon-king twitched the corner of her mouth. Chinshu, do you have to be like this? I raised an eyebrow and asked innocently, like what? You only came to see me 3 days after my car accident. Compared to you, I'm already being pretty nice, aren't I? Suwon-king's face instantly turned ashen. She opened her mouth, as if she wanted to say something. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was the housekeeper from home calling, Mr. Chen, most of your belongings are packed, but there's one box left untouched. It's filled with all kinds of ceramics. What would you like me to do with it? I was stunned. Ceramics? Yeah, and they look like you made them yourself. So I figured I should call to ask you. Out of the corner of my eye, I met Suwon-king's equally dazed gaze. A sudden realization hit me. I remembered these ceramics were indeed made by the original owner himself. Back in college, Suwon-king worked part-time at a pottery shop. Back then, the original owner wanted to pursue her, so he went there almost every day. He would stay for the whole afternoon each time. He had no talent for pottery, nor the patience for it either. His entire world was only Suwon-king, so he got covered in clay mess every single time, and left with an outrageously ugly finished piece. He never got tired of doing this. He didn't think it was embarrassing at all. Later, Suwon-king couldn't stand it anymore, and told him he was doing it wrong. The original owner immediately seized the chance to push his luck. Then teach me yourself. Of course, Suwon-king didn't want to, but the original owner spent very generously. He was a VIP customer of the shop. She couldn't afford to offend him. It wasn't until Suwon-king quit her job later that the original owner stopped going. That's how that whole box of artworks was collected. They're nothing important. Throw them all away, I said casually. Wait, Suwon-king spoke up suddenly. You moved house. To be honest, this woman isn't totally stupid sometimes. I nodded. That's right. Suwon-king frowned. Where did you move? Why so sudden? I couldn't help laughing. Miss Su, how many times do I have to remind you? We are already divorced. What I do and where I live are none of your business anymore. Suwon-king choked up suddenly, as if she heard something she couldn't accept. Her eyes started to redden slightly. After a long while, she finally gave in. If you don't want those ceramics, I'll send someone to pick them up. I glanced at her in confusion. Those are my things to begin with. I can keep them if I want, and throw them away if I want. I had no idea how these words hit Suwon-king's sore spot. The last glimmer of light in her eyes vanished instantly, like a weak flame in the wind finally blown out. Song Jinian walked over quickly, looking worried.
Won-king, are you okay?
Suwon-king tilted her head slightly to avoid his hand. Song Jinian froze on the spot, looking very awkward. But I had no interest in this drama at all, and turned around to leave. Unexpectedly, right after I stepped out the door, a doctor called out to me head-on. I looked up and saw a female doctor, in her 40s, looking me up and down. Why are you at the hospital? Are you feeling unwell? I was a little confused. Then I saw the badge on her chest. Chief Physician of Obstetrics. A guess popped up in my mind. The only thing that the original owner had any interaction with this doctor about was that previous child. Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine. I'm here to visit a friend today, I replied vaguely. She seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. That's good, but you and your wife are at the right age. Don't abort the next child you have, okay? I was completely stunned. These 2 short sentences carried way too much information. Wasn't Suwon-king's miscarriage an accident? The night the original owner rushed to the hospital, Suwon-king had already been wheeled out of the operating room. Song Jinian was sitting right by her bed. Won-king, what are you doing? Song Jinian's shocked exclamation suddenly came from behind. I turned around and saw Suwon-king pull out her own IV needle, shoved Song Jinian away roughly, and walked over quickly. She rushed straight in front of me, blocking the female doctor. Her voice was tighter than ever before. Doctor, this is a matter between my husband and I. It has nothing to do with you. I felt a cold chill run all over my body. I turned my neck stiffly to look at Su Wonking. For the first time, this beautiful face looked so strange to me. What did Su Wonking mean by this? The doctor's brow gradually furrowed. You don't know. Your wife said you two are currently focusing on building your careers and don't want a child for now. Chose to get an abortion. You had absolutely no idea about this. I can't remember how I got home, because I was completely blown away by this sudden news. I sat in the study for quite a while. I closed my eyes. The book clearly said Chen Shu got extremely jealous and had a huge fight with Su Wonking, which caused her accidental miscarriage. I don't know why, but when I think about this, I feel some part of my body aching along with it. It's like I can also truly feel that exact despair and pain. When I learn the baby is gone, I shake my head to shake off these feelings. The housekeeper just cleaned the study. I rummaged around and found the box for my college stuff. Finally, at the bottom, I pulled out a yearbook from my college days. The miscarriage story doesn't match the novel, so could there be other differences too? I opened the first page. It's a photo from military training. A boy in army green training uniform is grinning brightly. On the podium behind him stands a slim, slender figure. Though it's a bit far away, anyone with eyes can tell at a glance. That's Su Wonking back in college. There are a few lines of small text below. First day of military training, a girl next to me got heat stroke. I carried her to the clinic. She was so light. Didn't expect to see her today at the assembly, giving a freshman speech on the podium. So her name is Su Wonking. Secretly taking photos of your crush under the guise of a selfie is such a normal move. This must be when he first fell for Su Wonking. I kind of want to laugh. The original owner fell for Su Wonking in such a cheesy cliché love at first sight. I can't help touching my face. The Chen Shu in the book is selfish, willful, paranoid, and extreme, which seems so different from this boy, with a bright, cheerful smile. It's hard to imagine this boy with stars in his eyes would end up turning into such a suspicious, domineering, paranoid, and selfish man. I keep flipping through the pages and find every single photo is related to Su Wonking. Her sitting in the lecture hall for class, her swinging a racket on the badminton court, with her long hair flying, her getting food and eating alone in the canteen, her bowing her head working hard at the pottery shop. Sometimes there are little notes written next to the photos. All the classes she takes are so boring, I can't understand them. Is there any girl that's good at studying and this good at sports? She always seems to eat alone, and always gets the cheapest food in the canteen. Does she get enough to eat? She always seems so busy. She doesn't even have time to say a word to me. This is actually the original owner's secret crush album for Su Wonking. He took tons of photos of her over 4 years of college. Every photo, every word is completely different from the Chen Shu in the book. He seems to like someone, but that person isn't me. Maybe I should just give up. Tomorrow's the graduation ceremony. Maybe I should confess to him, then say goodbye to this secret crush. Halfway through taking graduation photos, he suddenly left. I secretly followed him and found out his mom's condition got worse, and they needed a lot of money. There should have been a graduation photo here, but it's completely blank. Because of Su Wonking, the original owner missed his own graduation photo too. My hands start shaking slightly. I don't know why. This album feels so heavy. Too heavy for me to keep flipping. It feels like if I keep reading, something out of control will happen. It feels like there's a stone on my chest. I can't take a full breath in, and I can't breathe it all out either. Driven by some unknown force, I keep flipping through the pages anyway. It's a wedding photo. Well, to be exact, it's an ID photo. The photo on the marriage certificate. Chen Shu is still smiling on his face, just much more reserved and introverted than before. Su Wonking has a calm expression, which clashes with the festive red background. It just hit me. They never had actual wedding photos taken. After a year of going back and forth, Su Wonking finally chose to marry Chen Shu. She didn't marry the person she loved the most. So of course she had no interest in all these trivial things, plus her mom was in the hospital the whole time. So they didn't have a wedding ceremony, and didn't take wedding photos either. I thought on this night, the day he finally got together with Su Wonking, Chen Shu would have written tons of stuff. But there's actually nothing written on this page at all. I stared at that photo for a long time. I felt a weird tightness in my chest. Had a crush on you for 5 years? Married you for 5 years? They actually only have this one photo together. I pushed down the messy thoughts in my head, kept flipping through the pages, but found there were no more photos of Su Wonking. Only occasional writings were left. He seems really busy lately. The company just got off the ground. He has to take care of everything himself. He's working so hard I made his favorite sweet and sour ribs, but he came back from a business event reeking of alcohol and passed out right on the bed. He bought an apartment near the company, said it's to make commuting easier. But why is that guy there too? I know I can't compare to her place in his heart.
But I still wish we could have a...
Child of our own. Am I hopeless? I went to the nursing home again today. I ran into Gu Qinghen as he was taking his grandpa home from the hospital. He said I was brainless. A woman like Su Wangking, this kind of trick won't work on her at all. I turned around and left right away, because I also knew he was telling the truth. I was just about to give up, but Su Wangking came back at night. I don't know if her business event went badly. She was so drunk. I couldn't help kissing her. She kissed me back for the first time. My mind went completely blank after that, until one night. She seemed to be pregnant. I kept reading further. Those 2 months were the best time for Chen Shu and Su Wangking's relationship, even though he knew that Su Wangking's change of heart was only because of the baby. He already asked for nothing more. From many, many years ago, he had fallen hopelessly in love with this person. He once thought this was the light in his life. He wanted to get warmth and preference from her. But it was all wrong from the very start. All these seemingly beautiful illusions were finally ruthlessly torn apart. The last page was a torn-up abortion consent form. Su Wangking's signature was at the bottom right corner. It felt like a bolt of lightning hit me out of nowhere. A sharp pain hit me. My whole body went numb. My limbs were ice cold. Countless memories flashed through my mind. I was like a dying fish right before a heavy rain, trying to get to the surface to breathe, only to be swept away by even bigger waves. I finally remembered everything. I didn't transmigrate into a book. I am Chen Shu. The phone suddenly started ringing. It was especially harsh in the silent study. It was a call from Gu Qinghan. I tapped to answer it. Before I could say anything, Gu Qinghan asked straight to the point. You went to the hospital to see Su Wangking today. She's flying for a business trip this afternoon. Logically, she shouldn't know what's going on with me, even though I left that comment on my WeChat moments. But he shouldn't have known the details that well. I didn't deny it. How did you find out? He paused for a moment. Su Wangking called me to ask. Some things related to you. I see, I nodded, and had no intention of asking further. Hearing my flat tone, Gu Qinghan also seemed to realize something was wrong. You're still up this late. I was just about to speak when I heard the doorbell ring. The person at the door was actually Su Wangking. I hung up on Gu Qinghan, went downstairs and opened the door, but didn't let her in. It was completely dark outside. The street lamp cast a soft glow behind her, making half of her face lit and half hidden in shadow. I spoke up, what do you want? I came to apologize to you. It's been 3 hours since I left the hospital. Did she just remember to say this now? No need, I said quietly. It's all in the past now. I don't need this apology anymore. Su Wangking's face turned even paler. Listen to my explanation. I can explain everything. I really just acted on impulse that day. Was it really a spur of the moment or was it premeditated? I asked softly. Was it that painful for you to be pregnant with my baby? Su Wangking froze. After a long while, she closed her eyes and said word for word, I really didn't want this baby at first, but then the baby grew bigger every day. I was just being stupid back then. I regretted it too. Don't you think it's too late to regret now? Regret appeared in Su Wangking's eyes. Her shoulders shook and she couldn't say a word. The corner of my mouth curled up slightly. If I had believed that you had the miscarriage, because of me, I would have been consumed with regret. I can't use the baby as an excuse to pester you anymore. So I'm setting you free for good, right? Su Wangking froze all of a sudden. Subconsciously, she's convinced I am exactly a selfish, paranoid, and resentful man. As long as the baby is gone, I'll have no reason to tie her down anymore. Her lips parted, like every word was hard for her to get out. But this is between the two of us. Why did you suddenly pick a fight with Song Jinian that day? I stared at her quietly. This is the woman I've been in love with for 10 years. But at this very moment, she's still thinking about another man. I laughed. No particular reason. I just don't like him. He deserved it. But the baby is gone. And we're divorced too. Su Wangking, you can finally stay together with him forever now. You should be happy, right? No. Su Wangking seemed to get a sudden shock and stepped forward to grab my wrist. I don't love him. I don't love him, Chen Shu. Don't talk to me in that tone, okay? I frowned. and was just about to push her away when a soft laugh came from behind. Guess I came at a bad time. Suwon-king stiffened immediately. I then saw who it was. It was actually Gu King-han, who was supposed to be out of town on business. She tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, and her beautiful eyes were full of coldness. Suwon-king, didn't I tell you? You were the one who wanted the divorce. So stop pestering him. Suwon-king bit her lip and stared back at her, equally hostile. The relationship between Chen Shu and I is none of your business, you outsider. Gu King-han raised her eyebrows slightly and walked over in her stiletto heels, stopping right beside me and linking her arm through mine. My heart skipped a beat. Gu King-han. She turned to look at me, her smile charming and innocent. Want to get back with your ex? My mind was a mess. I shook my head. That's not my plan. What about you? Why did you come back all of a sudden? Gu King-han lifted her chin. If I didn't come back, I'd have to watch her harass you here. Suwon-king stared daggers at Gu King-han's arm linked through mine, her eyes starting to redden faintly. Gu King-han, don't act like you're some kind of saint. What dirty little scheme are you plotting? You know that better than anyone? Gu King-han actually laughed. She turned around and said with a bright smile, Since President Su is so perceptive, why don't you tell everyone what scheme I'm plotting? But Suwon-king wouldn't say another word. Her lips pressed tightly together. Gu King-han scoffed. What, President Su won't say it? Fine, I'll say it for you. I was hoping you two would get divorced, so I could make a move on him. This chance doesn't come easy, so of course I'm going to pay close attention and make the most of it. Her voice was carried by the night wind, every word ringing clearly in my ears. My chest felt tight and my heart was racing silently. Gu King-han kept going. Let's be real, Suwon-king. If you had half a brain or an ounce of decency, you never would have asked those stupid questions earlier. You don't actually think someone will forgive you forever, do you? And keep giving you chances forever. Suwon-king's face instantly went pale. Her body swayed, like she could collapse any second. She mumbled, her voice cracking. I really didn't mean to do it. Gu King-han didn't even bother listening and cut her off immediately, her voice turning even colder. I told you, he finally got over all that stuff and is ready to start a new life. Do you really have to bring it all up again? I looked sharply at Gu King-han. Something felt off about what she just said. Did she already figure something out? But Gu King-han didn't notice my reaction. She just said calmly, You should leave, and don't come back ever again. Suwon-king almost fell over. Her eyes glazed over, looking completely broken. I didn't want to look at her anymore, and said to her, The only things you wanted to ask were those 2 questions just now, and I already answered both of them. Starting today, you and I have nothing to do with each other anymore. With that, I turned to leave, when a dull sound came from behind me. Suwon-king had actually knelt down right there. She couldn't stop her voice from shaking. I know I was wrong. It's all my fault. Just give me one more chance. Can we start over, please? Gu King-han's first move was to turn and look at me, her usual arrogant, spoiled demeanor completely gone, her bright, beautiful eyes fixed firmly on me, his hands hanging at his sides clenched quietly. His face was taut with tension. He was really nervous. Suwon-king was waiting for my answer. So was she. I turned around and looked quietly at Suwon-king. Suwon-king, we've been married for 5 years. I'm not as likable to you as Song Jin-hyun. I only ever bring you trouble instead. I even deluded myself into thinking I could have you all to myself. I was unbelievably immature. That's what you really think, right? Suwon-king's face turned pale. I added in a soft voice. On top of that, even this marriage was something I forced to happen in the first place. If it wasn't for your mom, you never would have been with me at all, and you never would have had all this mess with me. Is that how you see this marriage, Suwon-king? That's also what you told me yourself before the car accident. Isn't that right? Suwon-king looked extremely frustrated. Her eyes were filled with panic. I said those things on impulse that day. I didn't mean it. I was just way too angry back then. Those words of hers made me fully realize what kind of ridiculous, awful, hateful person I was in her eyes. After we lost our baby, I was completely heartbroken and disillusioned. I started thinking maybe I should set Suwon-king free. A guy like me simply doesn't deserve to stay with her any longer. So when Song Jin-hyun asked to meet me later, I said yes. I also wanted a chance to talk things through with the guy who'd been interfering in my marriage with Suwon-king this whole time, but I didn't get the chance to ask my questions that day. Song Jin-hyun handed me that abortion consent form first. Chenshu, you don't actually think a baby alone can win Won-king's heart, do you? Actually, when you called, I was right next to her. I heard every word. I even told her to listen to you and stay home, and skip the business trip. But you know what she said? She said you were trying to tie her down with the baby and you were so annoying. You've liked Wonking since your first year of college, right? I think it's because she fainted during military training, and you took her to the infirmary. It's good to help people, sure. But that one tiny little thing doesn't mean she owes you her hand in marriage, right? Don't you think that's right? Chenshu, stop being such an idiot. You're always like this. Wonking is totally sick of it. She was even disgusted when she got pregnant with your baby. I never expected Song Jinian would purposely fall down the stairs. I also never expected Su Wonking would show up right at that exact moment. She didn't even bother to listen to my explanation. She just kept crying next to Song Jinian. She was worried sick about him. She didn't even glance at me the entire time. Later, when I finally got a minute alone with her, I went to confront her about the baby. But her words shut me right up. Chenshu, how long are you going to keep throwing this fit? Do you have any idea how disgusting every part of you is to me? I wandered the streets aimlessly for ages that day. All I could think about was those disgusted, harsh words she yelled at me. Am I really that selfish? Am I really that extreme? Am I really that hateful? Until that out-of-control car slammed into me, and I blacked out right on the spot. When I woke up again, I became a different version of myself. The version of me that existed in Su Wonqing's head. She built this whole fake world for me. And in this world, I'm crazy and selfish, paranoid and ridiculous. And most importantly, I instinctively don't love her anymore. I stared straight into Su Wonqing's eyes and spoke calmly. But Su Wonqing, even in this world, I don't love you anymore either. When I woke up the next morning, it was already broad daylight. I followed the smell of breakfast and wandered into the kitchen. I froze when I saw Gu Qinghan cooking there. Hey, Miss Gu. What's the special occasion that gets you cooking yourself? Gu Qinghan jerked her chin toward the yard outside. Some annoying person. Su Wonqing knelt outside all night. I didn't bother with her. I dragged Gu Qinghan, who was about to go argue with her, back inside to rest straight away. I sat down at the dining table and took a bite of the egg toast she made. Oh, and this is also the first time Miss Gu messed up her first ever attempt at cooking, huh? Gu Qinghan rushed over immediately to grab the toast away from me. Spit that out, don't eat it. I'll make you a new one. I leaned away to avoid her, no need. That's such a waste. It's not that bad, I can eat it. Gu Qinghan looked skeptical. Really? I held up the toast. You want to try? She was just about to take a bite. When I leaned up toward her and kissed the corner of her mouth, she froze completely on the spot. Her ears turned bright red right before my eyes. I pinched her cheek contentedly. Why are you yelling so loud? Even louder than when you confessed yesterday. Gu Qinghan holds back for quite a while. Finally, she just throws herself into my arms. She mumbles, I thought you forgot all about it. You forgot so many things right after you woke up from the car crash. I almost thought I'd have to raise a big idiot later. I rub her hair. How could that be? Even if I forget myself. I'd never forget you. Back when I didn't even recognize myself and didn't trust anyone, including myself. I still never put up my guard around one person. I trusted her completely. She tilts her head up and smiles happily. You're finally being smart for once. This lady didn't waste all these years liking you. It feels like something just tugged at my heart. I can't help but say, Gu Qinghan, how are you even blinder than me? Liking someone like me. She smirks proudly. Obviously, this lady has way better taste. I know to wait for someone worth it. I laugh too. Yeah. You're the best. Su Wonqing Extra Chapter. Lately, I keep dreaming about a guy. He's there when I'm in class. When I'm playing badminton, even when I'm working my part-time job. It looks like a coincidence. But his tricks are way too clumsy. He's a terrible actor too. Everything's written all over his face. It's kinda annoying. It's not like other guys haven't liked me before. But none of them were as bold as him. I thought he'd give up after a while. But who knew he'd be that stubborn? I intentionally hung out with Song Jinian, hoping he'd get the hint and back off. The sadness in his eyes was obvious to everyone. And sure enough, he didn't show up for a long time after that. I breathed a sigh of relief, but also thought guys like him are really only passionate about things for 3 minutes. He's a rich young master after all. He's never had to go through any hard times. He's nothing like people like me. I remember what Song Jinian said, and I get even more annoyed. I even turned down Song Jinian when he hinted that we should get together. I don't have time or energy for dating. I have to take care of my parents and provide for the family. Good thing Song Jinhyeon is always understanding. He didn't bring it up again after he found out about my situation. Instead, he helped me with all his heart. But accidents always come out of nowhere. My mom's condition got worse. We desperately needed a huge amount of money for medical bills. Just when I thought I had nowhere to turn, that guy showed up again. What do you want? He shakes his head, says nothing. I sneer in my heart. Not sure if I'm laughing at him or at myself. Let's get together then. I hear my own voice saying that I know what he wants, yet he's still pretending to be innocent. But I have no choice. I need the money, so I have no choice but to sell myself. He doesn't get along well with his family, so he always likes sticking to me. But I'm super busy. I don't have time for that. Gradually, he came to see me less and less. I thought he'd finally gotten over it. Who knew he went to pick on Song Jinhyeon instead? I told him off multiple times, but he always denies it. We always end up fighting and parting on bad terms. Later, he finally calmed down. I breathed a sigh of relief again, only to see him chatting with another woman at the nursing home. That was Gu Xing'an, his childhood sweetheart. They came from the same social class. If I wasn't in the picture, they would have been a perfect match. I'm a woman. I know exactly what the look in his eyes when he looks at her means. He complains and rants to her. They playfully fight over things he never does with me. How could he do this? He says he likes me, but he's hanging out with another woman. He thought I was drunk that day, but I know I wasn't. A wave of possessiveness I never knew I had swallowed me whole. I didn't see that coming at all, until I got pregnant. For some reason, I actually felt relieved. I'm having a baby. That means I have to be with him for sure. I don't even know how I got the courage to lie on that operating table. I thought that would be a punishment for him. But I was wrong. It hurt 10,000 times more than I ever imagined. Everything's falling apart and slipping out of my control. I don't even know how I said those words out loud. I must have lost my mind. The second he signed his name on the divorce agreement, I realized I was completely out of my mind. How could I ever let him leave? I can't let him leave me. But it was already too late when I came to my senses. I fired Song Jinhyeon and spread the news that he used to take kickbacks and leak company confidential information to the public. He couldn't get a single job in the industry anymore. He begged outside my door for days, before finally leaving the city in total embarrassment and disappearing without a trace. I never had the heart to change his contact note on my phone, but one day I called him when I was dead drunk, only to find the number was already disconnected. Later I heard he and Gu Xing'an held a super grand wedding. That was when I finally realized one thing. I had lost him completely for good. It was pouring rain outside. The dampness filled every corner. It almost seeped right into the bottom of my heart. It's all my fault. Everything is my fault. I'm the one who drove him away and lost myself in the process too. I'm sorry. Let's never meet again in our next life. I saw Su Wanking outside the window again. 3 years later. Mom is dying. She wants to see you. Looking at this woman with a worn-out face and a super thin figure in front of me, I almost didn't recognize her at all. This was the once glamorous and beautiful Su Wanking. In just 3 short years, she looked like she had aged 10 whole years. I heard she asked several college classmates one after another, before she finally found out where I live now, and came all the way to find me. There was absolutely nothing left between us anymore. But thinking of that hunched, thin old lady, lying sick in the hospital bed, I finally nodded and agreed to go. But I have other things to do later. I probably won't be able to stay for very long. Su Wanking's originally dull eyes lit up immediately. She obviously didn't expect me to agree so easily. She was even a little flustered and didn't know what to do for a second. That's totally fine. It's already great enough that you're willing to come. The look on her face was more nervous and awkward than I'd ever seen. I'm already so grateful that you're willing to come. After I made a call to my family to let them know, I went with Su Wanking to visit her mother. Surprisingly enough, Mother Su wasn't staying at a nursing home. The car finally stopped outside a shabby old apartment building. Oh, right. I heard Su Wanking and Song Jinhyeon had a bad falling out a few years ago. Song Jinhyeon held a huge grudge against her, so he intentionally joined the company of Su Wanking's biggest rival and pushed Su Wanking to the edge of breakdown step by step. Her company went bankrupt, and she had way more debts than assets. It seemed she even borrowed money from classmates everywhere. After going through all that trouble, she actually ended up in such a terrible state. Not only could she not afford the expensive nursing home fees, she didn't even have a proper place to stay. So she could only barely afford to rent a place like this. When we got to the front door, Su Wanking didn't go inside right away. She put her hand on the door and took a deep breath, before finally pushing the door open and walking in. Mother Su was lying on the sick bed, looking completely gaunt and worn out, and breathing very faintly. Su Wanking called out softly, "Mom!" When Mother Su heard her voice, she opened her eyes but slowly turned her head away and closed her eyes again. Su Wanking walked over and said in a soft voice, "Chenshu is here to see you." Mother Su froze for a second and lifted her head slightly. I greeted her, "Hello, Auntie Su." Mother Su's eyes turned red right away. Tears rolled down her cheeks and landed on her bony skin and bones back of hand. Su Wanking hurried to wipe her tears for her, but Mother Su pushed her away hard. "Get out. I don't have a daughter like you." Su Wanking was caught off guard and fell to the floor. Tears immediately welled up in her eyes. I felt a little awkward standing there. I had no idea the relationship between the mother and daughter had gotten this bad. "Don't get upset, Auntie Su." But Mother Su cried even harder, opened her mouth, her voice all hoarse and choked with sobs. "I know everything already. It's Wanking who did you wrong. Our whole Su family owes you a big apology." I stayed silent for a while, then shook my head. "It's all in the past now. We all have our own lives now. We have to look forward, right? I've done good deeds my whole life. I deserve this bad fate as punishment. Chenshu, you're such a good kid. Don't come again in the future." Su Wanking's eyes were all red and swollen. She tried to walk me downstairs. I said, "No need. Just take good care of your mom." I glanced at my phone. Su Wanking gave a bitter smile. Ever since he found out we got divorced, he won't even acknowledge me anymore. Every time he sees me, he just gets mad. I don't have much patience for this. And I'm not interested either. I grab my car keys and get ready to leave. Su Wanking opens her mouth but says nothing. "Chenshu, are you in a really big hurry? Why don't you stay for dinner or a cup of tea?" I nod. "Yeah, it's pretty urgent. Xiaobao's school is over for the day. I have to go pick her up. If I get there late, her mom will punish me by making me stand again." Su Wanking looks like she's been struck by lightning. Her body sways slightly. Her face turns as pale as a sheet. "Oh, I forgot to tell you. Xiaobao is my daughter." I give a small smile. "You've never met her before. She has her mom's eyes. Her nose and mouth take after me. She's super pretty." Su Wanking can't utter a single word anymore. She collapses onto the sofa and slowly covers her face with her hands. A soft whimper comes out of her. I turn around and leave. The moment I close the door, heartbroken, broken down wails come from inside the house. I don't pay any attention to it and leave straight away. I dash to the kindergarten. "Daddy!" A soft, sweet little bundle throws herself into my arms. I bounce her gently in my arms. "Let's hurry home. Mom made lots of yummy food today." The little girl wrinkles her nose right away, looking totally pitiful. "Daddy, I want to eat the food you cook." I lightly tap the tip of her nose. "We'll go home and Daddy will make it for you right away."